Captain, what are you talking about? It appears to be a blackout. Everything is all black.
We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready.
Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. Let's see. Y'all heard that loud and clear? You heard that loud and clear? Just back on live. Um, Jumped up here for a few minutes yesterday to talk some talk with you guys, see how you guys were doing. Eagles made another signing, Aziz Ojulari. See what you thought about that. See how y'all feel about the Sixers movements. Paul George shut down for the year. That stinks. I think Maxey is next. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up, to be honest. If anybody's been watching the games, let me know what y'all been seeing out there. I can't stomach the Sixers right now. They killing me. You know what I mean? I went on a rant last week about the Sixers and how disgusting it was that Joel Embiid is in the shape that he's in and not playing, not being a part of the team. I don't know. It just this season was a total disappointment. Um, Everybody and their mom know it because we had such high expectations for this team, and now we gotta sit here and go through and wait for the draft. So that ain't a good thing. That's not something that we were looking forward to, especially after the good season or the good season that the what's up, cousin? How you doing? We ain't go to the bar lately, man. We gotta get up. We gotta get up to that bar soon, man. Like we gotta do a little. Matter of fact, what you doing after this? I'll be on here till probably around 8. If you ain't, we can. I'll call you, FaceTime you. Maybe we can have a drink real quick tonight. If you up to it, catch up a little bit. It's the second time you joined your boy. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And I gotta get you on here a little bit more. But it's cool. Like, as long as you show up, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? You're the only person in the building right now, but people will jump in a little bit. This little feedback that this mic, I gotta figure that out. This little feedback that this microphone be giving me is just terrible. Like, it's not good at all. Um, but yeah, cuz if you're not busy tonight, after I get off of here by like 8 o'clock or something like that, maybe we could shoot the, what, and have a drink and chill. You know what I mean? But because you don't know nothing about what I'm about to talk about right now, so I understand. I understand if you don't comment or say anything. It's cool. I understand it, but that's for you. Kiss, if you can hear it. I don't know if it's playing clear, through my soundboard or not. But I tried to blow you a little kiss. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all. Yeah, being, I think Maxi is next to be placed on IR and done for the season. I'm not sure if he's playing tonight because I think they play OKC, which OKC is probably going. I'm pretty sure OKC is probably going to rest a couple of their starters because it wouldn't be no point for them to play this a lot of their starters with this type of team. Like, this type of team is not a. Even if they lost this game, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt OKC's chances of making the playoffs or their seeding. So I don't really see them risking. You seen last night with Golden State how they rested Steph Curry. I think you start seeing some of these teams playing against like a team like the Sixers. They start to rest some of their players because there's no point of playing and getting injured in a meaningless game against like the Sixers, who have nobody. Like I said, I believe in my heart. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see tonight. Let's see what the lineup going to be. Because I believe in my heart they're going to sit Maxey. They're going to figure out a way to put Maxey on the bench for the rest of the night. I mean, rest of the year. Let's see. Sixers starting lineup tonight. I ain't even going. Let's see if I can get on this joint. I don't know if I can get on this joint. I don't even think they put it out there yet. Yeah, I don't think they put it out there yet. It's a shame. It sucks though. They ain't put it out there who their starting lineup is, but guess what? It doesn't even matter because this team, we all know what this team is destined to do. I like to see a lot of the young guys develop though, like because they're probably going to be playing significant roles going through next year. You know, especially off the bench. I like to see them work on having a rotation coming off the bench that can give our older starters some minute, some rest and play. With see, here's the thing: we need to. Our starters are probably going to be able to establish, get a league going, and we need our bench to establish, to keep it going. The problem is over the last couple of years we haven't had a solid bench. The one thing I see as far as what the Sixers are concerned, to me, a lot of what I saw this year was a lot of 3-point shooting. Like 3-point shooting to me kills the Sixers because at the end of the day, if you're not making threes, you're living and dying by that. And there's no attack in the paint. If you can't attack the paint, how do you expect to win? If you can't attack the paint, put the other team in foul trouble, how can you expect to win? And with this team, like we got players that, in my eyes, can attack a little bit more than they can shoot. You know what I mean? Like if you settle in for threes, you're giving the game right away to the team that you're playing against. A team like OKC, they attack. You know what I mean? They don't just settle for threes. You got to get people in foul trouble. You got to get guys in foul trouble. And if you can't get guys in foul trouble, you're gonna have a long night, and that's what we've been witnessing this all year long. Well, I'm gonna put it like this: I'm not gonna say what y'all been witnessing. From what I've seen, a lot of 3-point shooting, and if we ain't making a 3-point shooting, we definitely ain't rebounding. How can you win the game if you ain't rebounding and just shooting threes? It's people in here that know what I'm talking about. If you understand what I'm saying or you agree what I'm saying, let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, like the formula that Nick Nurse has ran out this season, the formula that guy has coached this season, especially sometimes some of the games I watched with the rotations of some of the, like it's hard to establish a type of rhythm when you're in and out, like you're not consistently getting your minutes. You know what I mean? It was times that, like I like to see him develop Ricky Council a little bit more. There was times that he was a coach's decision that he didn't not playing. You know what I mean? It's like those guys like him need to play a little bit more because you might need them next year off the bench. You will need them off the bench next year. Like I don't know how y'all feel about it, but like I like Ricky Council. I think he's got a good upside. I think that if he develops and practices and put the work in, he could be a hell of a player. But you have to give him the opportunity to develop himself. You have to give the opportunity for him to play and meet in games on a consistent basis, so he knows his role and understands his role and understands where to be at on the court, especially when he comes in with his like bench unit. I like Quentin Grimes. You know what I mean? They got to figure out a way to sign him, re him up. He'll be a good asset coming off the bench. Him and depending on who you get in the offseason in the offseason, him and Jared McCain would be a nice tandem coming off the bench. Now that depends on who we got at the two. If we got Kelly Oubre back, or depending if we sign anybody else or trade away Paul George and see what we get for him. Which I don't think you won't get too much of anything for Paul George at that contract. Like I think you might be stuck with him. You know what I mean? There was teams that was willing to gamble at the trade deadline for Paul George early on but I think now going through another injury, you know what I mean? I don't know if his trade value is there anymore. You know what I mean? We'll see though, but I know they're putting out reports that they're going to shop him at the trade deadline. I like Ricky, but it got to be a reason Edwards passed him in playing time. I think Edwards can shoot a little. He's a little bit more consistent shooter. I think his 3-point shot has been a lot better than Ricky Council. But the toughness I like from Ricky Council is the fact that he'll go to the he'll go to the hole. Pause. Like I like his ability to get to the cup. So if you compare them to, I think Edwards can shoot better, but Ricky Council can attack better. So you have to like, and I like both of them. I like both of them to try to somehow work something out, get some minutes off the bench, but you need to develop them a little bit more. You need to let them play a little bit more. Like I don't like seeing Ricky Council as a coach's decision, a DMP. You know what I mean? That's not good for him building character and like morale in the game and knowing where he needs to be. You know what I mean? And you're playing guys like, I don't know, some of these guys that you're playing, like, I don't even know where they come from. They won't even be around next year. A guy like Ricky Council, he might not be the sixth man off the bench on most teams in the league, but he'll probably get some minutes early on in the season, depending on what team he goes to. Not really comparing, just was an example. No, I know what you're saying. I agree with you saying, like, but they got people eating up minutes that won't be a part of this organization next year. I don't know why this don't give me that feedback. It's killing me. But they got people that won't be a part of this organization next year that they're giving a lot of minutes to. What's the guy named Reese? Let me look at the roster because I don't like I said, I haven't been paying attention a lot to them this year. They drive me crazy. Let me look at their roster so I can tell you who I'm talking about. Boy. What's up, Jay? How you doing today, man? What's going on with you? I like a Dembona. Dembona is going to be good. Now he got to develop offensively. He got to get his footwork together. If I had a chance to say something to him or talk to him, I would definitely tell that guy to go work with Embiid. I mean, not Embiid, Olajuwon. I tell Dembona in a heartbeat, go work with Olajuwon, get your footwork together, get your shooting together, get your game together. Period. He got to stop fouling, but he's a rookie, so that's coming with the territory. He's a rookie. He's going ahead of those games where he's fouling, but I like a Dembona, like a guy like O'Shea Brissett. Who the heck is he? And he's not going to be playing with the Sixers next year. Like, no disrespect to him, and what he's accomplished by getting to the league, but he's not going to be a Sixer next year. I don't even think Jared Butler is going to be a Sixer next year. You got Jeff Doughton Jr., which he could make us. He has his ups and downs. He has some good games and some bad games. He's okay. Who else? Who else? Saying Quentin Grimes. Obviously, I want him back. I want to see a lot more from Jalen Hood Schifino. I like him. You know what I mean? These are the young cores. You got to get rid of Kyle. You got to move on from Kyle Lowry. Put him on the coaching staff. Put Kyle Lowry on the coaching staff. Chuma Okeke. I don't know who that is. He's going to be gone. Alex Reese. That's who it is. Alex Reese. Like, why are we giving him so much playing time? Lonnie Walker is going to be gone next year. But why are we giving guys like Alex Reese a lot of playing time? Obviously, we know we're not winning, and most likely the object is to lose a lot of games so that you can get that six seed in the playoffs or at 6 and under. I mean, I see six, draft pick because you can't fall out of the top six or it goes to I figured we was talking about that the other night. I thought it was OKC, but it's not OKC. It goes to somebody if it falls out of that top six. So we gotta get our young guys, see what our young guys are gonna be able to do next year. Coach Lowry, yeah, they need to put Kyle Lowry on the coaching staff, get him off the roster. Like I've read something. I don't know if you heard this, Jay. That Toronto called the Sixers about Kyle Lowry, and they was giving up the ball, Chris Bouchard, and it was somebody else they was giving up. And I was like, I would have took that. I would have took that trade in a heartbeat. It was Toronto I think it's Toronto who we would get a pick to. If we fall six or below, we get it. We get to keep our pick. If we go six or higher, it goes to who? Toronto, right? I believe it's Toronto. I know we was talking about it the other night, but I can't remember exactly who the pick goes to. But like, you can't like I don't know, man. The Sixers are frustrating right now. I haven't really been impressed with Nick Nurse's coaching this year. I know he hasn't had a consistent roster to work with, a consistent starting five to work with. There's been a lot of injuries in this team, but I just don't. I really haven't been all that impressed with what he's done. No, would took it. Nope, would have took that in a second. Yeah, I know. I would I don't know. Sometimes people put stuff up on here for clickbait. It could have been clickbait, but I would have took that deal in a second, especially for the Chris Bouchard. I forget the other guy that they was trying to add to the package. They just wanted Kyle Lowry back, and I would have took that in a heartbeat. I don't know. I don't know what the Sixers star process is when it comes to Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is honestly, he. I mean, I don't even know how many games he played, since being the Sixers. He hasn't played a full season. We keep six or lower, yeah. Not sure who we lose it to if higher, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm waiting for the news of them shutting down Tyrese Maxey because I know that's happening soon. I don't think Maxey is coming back. They're backing his what is this? Back in his finger or something like that. So they're going to keep. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to keep him out because they want to keep that top six protected. If they can keep that, they have a good, chance of getting somebody good in the draft and making some real noise next year. I put out there the other day. I don't know if you heard me or if you even agree with me. I know you got a lot of theory about why you say what you say, but do you think there's a chance that the Sixers can grab a guy like Kevin Durant? I don't think he's happy in Phoenix. I think he's going to try to look to be moved or get up out of there because the Phoenix experiment has failed miserably since he got there. They haven't been able to make that work since he got there. So I think there's a chance that they move on. They try to blow up that team, and Kevin Durant becomes available. What you think? I would go out and get a Kevin Durant, and I would keep if we went out and got Kevin Durant, I would absolutely keep Paul George. I would absolutely keep Paul George, and I would put Embiid on the strictest diet I can. He would have to go get that knee surgery. Like I said, I don't know why he ain't doing it now, but he would have to go get that knee surgery, and he would have to come back next year 100%. You said nope, nope, and I think it would be too late as always with the Sixers. It could be, but well, see, here's the thing. Like I said the other day, your window of winning is rapidly closing. So why not take the shot and see if you can make that work with them two and Embiid and see if you can get over the hump? I mean, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose if you can get them and you can get them to play some good basketball for you. You have nothing to lose. Plus, him and Paul is useless. Got to get rid of him. Can't afford all that. Yeah, it depends on. Well, yeah, the NBA is I don't. Yeah, I mean, if I'm just saying, if there was a way to make money work, what I mean, to get a Kevin Durant, I would absolutely make that happen. I would absolutely make that happen because what do you have to lose? Because again, if you lose this year, I mean, if you lose, obviously you're gonna lose this season. Next season, if you go in with the same core and with a rookie, you're still not really in position to win and compete at a high level because now you got to worry about Embiid and Paul George being hurt and finishing the whole year. So if you can make it happen money wise, what would be the downfall of that, of trying that? Whether we get a KD that was in Brooklyn or OKC or even Golden State. I mean, like just to try it, what would be the downfall? What you have to give up and what you would have left. In my eyes, obviously Phoenix is going to try to want something they can build around. But I already know they already know that they wouldn't be able to get no core players. You wouldn't get a Maxi. You wouldn't. You may depending on circumstance throw Jared McCain in, but I don't think it's enough sample size for them to want him like that. But they know they're not getting a Maxi or Embiid. You know, and they wouldn't want Paul George because what would be the reason they're getting rid of, you know, Kevin Durant? You'll probably most likely try to make it work with draft picks and a couple players off the squad that are on 1 year deals that the Phoenix Suns can say, all right, we've blown this thing up and we're rebuilding because it's not working. You know, they obviously probably would ship out Devin Booker and find and at least try to find a trade partner for Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? I think at least for Devin Booker, you can get a bunch of picks back for him. Kevin Durant, you can too, depending on the Sixers situation. Now you know more than I do about that as far as the picks they got available to make that trade. But I mean, what would you have to lose if you can make it work? If you can make it work, what would you have to lose? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If that trade can work, what would you lose by making it happen? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Embiid's window is closing. Paul George's window is definitely closing. The only people you got left is Maxi and McCain if he's still a part of the team. So you're going to be in rebuild mode in 2 years anyway. You said what? But see, here's the thing, Jay. You don't see it, but what have they done since that trio has been put together? I mean, they were good with um what's his name, Chris Paul, but they still weren't able to get over the hump. And so you got a bunch of salary that you're paying that you can't really win with. You're not winning with and Kevin Durant. We know that you've seen Kevin Durant on that bench. Like this is crazy. Why how we're looking. I don't think Kevin Durant wants to be there the way they've been playing. And at first they was thinking it was the coaching and the way the coaching was. They had Monty Williams and they went out and got what's his name, Frank Vogel. That didn't work. Now they got Budenholzer. That's not working. I mean, like it ain't much you can do to make that team good right now because they're not. I don't know what else you could do. And again, these guys are getting older. Kevin Durant is older. You think that he don't want to try to at least compete on a high level for a championship or just compete on a high level? Period. The Suns are not competing on a high level. Like I watched that game the other day when they lost against the Lakers. It was Luka and role players against a big three. At least two of the big three was playing. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I don't know if Bradley Beal was playing, but it was two of the big three that was playing, and they got their butts kicked by the Lakers. You heard Luka say, "I've never been this open in my life." Like that's a crazy shot at the Suns organization. Just like the Sixers good on paper, horrible in real life. Yes, but what I'm saying to you is that this is Paul George's first year as a Sixer. Embiid has been there, Max has been there. So the expectation for this year was for Paul George to get them over the edge, get them over the hump, establish the best big three. This is year one of that. The best official big three: a point guard, small forward, and a center. This is 1 year, and the injury had killed them. I'm not making excuses, but injury has killed that process. But this is year 3 or 4 of Phoenix. I think it's year 4 of Kevin Durant and Phoenix not playing at a high level. So it's a difference when you had so many years of it. You know what I mean? Versus this is the first year, or we mixed and match. You know what I mean? We had Tobias at one point, then we had James Harden for a season and a half. Now we got Paul George for 1 season. There's a lot of different moving parts when it comes to the Sixers. But for Phoenix, it's been 3. All right, so you said 3 years. It's been 3 years for the Suns. Like that's a lot of basketball to be losing and not playing at a high level. For a guy like Kevin Durant, who's used to competing at a high level, to not be frustrated at. You know, a guy like that is frustrated because he's you could just tell by his gameplay. He's not the easy money sniper that we used to him being. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that he can come here and be easy money sniper that we usually see, especially with OKC, Golden State or the Nets. But you never know what that change of scenery can do and what the players around you can do. So even if you got a Maxey, a McCain doing good, because the thought process for the Sixers this year was Paul George and Maxey was supposed to carry the team most of the way through until Joel Embiid got healthy enough and close enough to the playoffs so that he can have a good stretch run in the playoffs and going hopefully getting past the second round into the Eastern Conference Finals. But injury has killed that. Injury has took that apart. I think Kevin Durant and Devin Booker has played most of the season. They haven't sustained a lot of injury. I think Bradley Beal was out for a stretch, but the core of that team was together the most part of the season. So the problem is that they have been losing for, like you said, 3 years straight, not competing, not being at a high level. Kevin Durant, knowing that his ceiling is closing, the window is closing soon. I'm pretty sure he wants to play on a team that he has a chance to at least compete for a championship. And I believe the Sixers can be that if the injuries are. I mean, obviously injuries are a part of the game, but if the injuries are not as freakish as they were this year, because it was one thing after another. Now we knew Embiid, but when Paul George got hurt in the preseason and messed his knee up, he never really recuperated from that. Then he got injuries on top of that. Then Maxey goes down. It's like McCain. He in the midst of him having a breakout season, he goes down. So if none of that happens, we had a glimpse of what this team looks like when on Christmas Day when you got everybody together, minus Jared McCain. Now looking at that, like if you're a basketball player and like a Kevin Durant, now mind you, there's other teams that you probably would want to go to that you could say this is a for sure shot at me winning or being able to really compete for a championship. But if you look at a team like the Sixers, barring injury, you have one of the best shots to compete at a high level and make it to a championship. You know what I mean? So if you're Kevin Durant, why not take that chance? And if you're the Sixers organization, like I said, make it besides money and trying to make it work with money. What would you have to lose by signing or trading for a Kevin Durant? And mostly, I know what you'll probably say. You have a lot to lose when it comes to all the draft picks that you probably would have to give up, and that's mortgaging your future. But at the end of the day, the way we built right now, we're built to try to win now. You know what I mean? Which I believe in a couple of years we're going to be back in process mode anyway. So why not? That's what I'm asking. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but answer me why not? What would they have to lose by trying to make something like that happen? Answer me why not? That's what I want to know. Because to me, you know what I compare. You know what I compare us to right now. I compare us to like out of a different sport. I compare us to like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, we got some good key pieces that can compete on a high level, but we're still a season or two away from the window shutting. And so while Pittsburgh needs that quarterback to be able to have them compete on a high level, which I still don't think, even if Aaron Rodgers go over there, will have them, on in Super Bowl conversations. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers to have them in Super Bowl conversations, but he'll have them competing. Like I say, JC Benson, what's up, brother? At least we make the playoffs. Who the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yeah, y'all make the playoffs, but y'all don't win the playoffs. Y'all don't win. What's going on, brother? I know you joking. I know. Because I mean, listen, at one point in time, y'all was that team, still curtain. What you say? I had had to say something. I appreciate it, man. The first time I got you up on here, I get where you coming from. Like that's what would we have to lose? What would the Sixers organization have to lose? We're stuck just like the Sixers, exactly. You know what I mean? I understand the DK Metcalf move by y'all. I understand how y'all made that, or how y'all went out and got DK Metcalf. That was a beautiful trade. But y'all have no quarterback. And even if you had Aaron Rodgers, or even if you brought back Russell Wilson, it's y'all still. I still don't believe that y'all at a level to compete for a Super Bowl, because this team's out in that AFC East or AFC that's just a lot better than me. You know what I mean? Might as well go for it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what would the Sixers organization have to lose if they try to sign a guy or try to make something happen with Kevin Durant? You know what I mean? What? And here's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I compared them to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got the window is closing over the next couple years. Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. He's a big man. We know how big man injuries start to pile up as they get closer to the end of their career. So he's not going to be able to play at a high level for the next couple years. You know what I mean? You got to maximize it now while you got a guy like Maxey and McCain, if you could keep that core together and go after trying to get a guy like Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you can make it work with money, you try to make that happen, because you lose nothing if you don't make it. If it don't work, you lose nothing. You're going to rebuild in a couple years anyway. You know what I'm saying? So people, at the end of the day, like I say, my thing for comparing them to Pittsburgh is because, again, Pittsburgh went out and made a big trade to get DK Metcalf without knowing who their starting quarterback is. I think they should have kept Justin Fields. That's me personally. I don't think, to me, he was playing that horribly when he got benched. I think at that point when he got benched, he only lost 2 games. But I think they should have kept Justin Fields. But obviously, they didn't see the value in keeping him, and he was able to go out and go to the Jets. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, like that for me. Like, if they would have kept a guy like Justin Fields, that to me would have been at least trying, to compete for that championship. But now you're sitting here waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a move, and at the end of the day, you don't know if he's going to be Aaron Rodgers of old or Aaron Rodgers of new. Like, you don't know what he's going to be. And again, you got a lot riding on this because you made a trade. You went out and made that trade. But like I say, Sixer fans, speak up. Let's talk about it, man. How y'all feel about it? I'm telling y'all, I'll play this year for us. You might have to, bro. You might not last that long. I don't know if you're gonna make it through an 18-game season, because it's we older, bro. We older. You probably, even though I know you're in shape because you're running up and down the college floors, but I don't know if you're gonna last on that NFL floor. That's a different ball game, bro. You know that. Where you at? Are you working this March Madness? Are you doing anything with March Madness with the women? Are you out there? I wish I could. I wish I could come to some of them games. Nope. I'll take sex all day. I know, right? You wouldn't be able to get around none of them. Nah, I'm not big time enough for that yet. Oh, okay. Hey man, listen. You said I know you said you out there with some of the D1 teams, like what I mean. Like I thought you might, you know, snuck in the back door at the March Madness. I'm back east next season. You can come out. All right, let me know. Let me know what games you got. Let me know early enough so I can plan for that. You gotta let me know early enough so I can plan for that. Oh, you mostly out west for now. Even though I mean I'll come out west. My mom still live in Arizona, so let me know and I can still come out there. You know what I mean? I don't mind that. I don't mind traveling. I want to come out and just enjoy myself and have a good time. I've never been to a women's college basketball game, so that would be a different experience. So let me know. Definitely, we definitely gotta make something happen. You know what I mean? But like I said, any Sixers fans, come on, y'all. Jay, I know you still in here. Talk to me. Tell me how you feel. How you feel? Well, I know you said you don't think it's going to happen. You don't see it's going to happen. Any other Sixers fans? I'm talking about trying to make a trade for a guy like Kevin Durant. Would y'all do it? Would y'all make the trade? Because at the end of the day, in my eyes, we only got a couple years left with Embiid or in this team right now to actually compete for a championship. Like I'm saying, at the end of the day, the Sixers are a year or two away from rebuilding. And if you're in that position and you got like a guy like Kevin Durant out there that's not happy in Phoenix, why not make the move? Would you make the move, and why would you make the move, and why not make the move if you say no to the move? That's what I want to know. Why wouldn't you want to make the move? What would you have to lose? Like I say, in my eyes, you have nothing to lose if you make that move and it don't work out. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you were going to blow it up and rebuild it anyway. But I think it could work. Like I said earlier, I would even keep Paul George and run that lineup. I would have it would be for me. It'd be Maxi, either Oubre or McCain, depending on if we can sign Oubre back. Obviously, Paul George, KD, and Joel Embiid. What y'all tell me what y'all think? If y'all think that if I'm full of nonsense, if y'all don't agree with that, who else would you rather see? Put an argument out for somebody else. If you would rather see somebody else in the Sixers uniform that can help us win a championship over the next 2 years. Because again, teams like OKC, teams like Cleveland, those guys are gonna be tough for years because they're young. They were built young, and that when you're young like that, you got to sprinkle veterans. Is sort of like what the Eagles are doing. Like you're built for years to kind of compete and win. And teams that like the Sixers that are on the edge of rebuilding, we don't have too much time left. So we need to make something happen to be able to win now or win a championship now, maximize our opportunity to win now. Um, So tell me, like I said, I know some people on here that's listening to sound my voice. I know y'all some Sixer fans out there. I know y'all have opinions about what I'm saying. I know y'all might agree or don't agree about what I'm saying, but I want to know why, if you don't agree, why you don't agree, and what would you do differently? Who would you put in that position? Who would you rather see if it's not a guy like Kevin Durant? Would you want to see like a Devin Booker? I know y'all don't want to see Bradley Bill. I know for a fact no Sixer fan wants to see Bradley Bill. So we ain't gonna talk about him. But in my eyes, I believe that Phoenix organization is on the verge of blowing up. You know what I mean? They're gonna blow that team up because to me Kevin Durant is not happy. Um, and so at the end of the day, like you see if you get somebody like him, that might help you. That might help you get over the hump. Hold on, y'all. I'm texting. My bad. Y'all being quiet anyway. Y'all acting antisocial. Now, like I said, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I know it's at least one or two people in here that can answer my question, but everybody's just sitting there, being quiet. Let's talk about it, man. You know what I mean? Hold on. Yep, everybody being quiet. Like I said, I don't know what y'all thinking. I know what I think of my Sixers team, and I know this team this year. There was an epic failure, an epic collapse, um, and a lot to do with injury. A lot to do with injury. But like I said, if you have a chance, Philly should be looking to make any move they can. I like the trade idea. I agree too. Any move that they can make right now, especially with some of the veterans that's going to be coming free, I think they should try to make it. I told you get rid of Embiid like 2 years ago. I'm still, you know what, Jay, Jazz, I'm still not ready to get rid of Embiid. I'm still not all the way there yet. I'm teetering on that borderline, but I'm not all the way ready to get rid of Embiid. Why? Because I think if he gets his knee fixed. Now here's the thing. There's a bunch of that gotta go together. Yeah, I know you don't agree, but let me tell you why I feel that way. Yes, he has to get his knee fixed. He has to get that knee together. If Joel Embiid can get that knee together and somehow figure out a way to get his mind right, if he can get his mind right, Jazzo, you should be willing to help him back. No, not yet, not yet. Maybe after next year. Maybe after next year, I'll be saying that. Nobody would take him anyway. You're probably right. You're probably right. There would have to be a team that's in the same position as us that believe that they only need one or two players to be able to take him over the hump. That only has like 1 or 2 years left. But like I said, if he can get his mind right, if he can get his mind right, yo, that's the key to him being able to be a dominant center. His mind. If he could get his mind right, he would be unstoppable. Like he would be like he next year, if he comes back fully in shape, knee repair, mind right, and we make a trade for like a KD, and we roll out that lineup that I just said, it would be curtains for the league. Because if he plays at a high level and he's competing night in and night out, he's not pouting, he's playing great basketball, the energy will be infectious and everybody will play. Yeah, he's unstoppable when he plays, but he don't play enough. And the problem is he's in his own head. Like I was saying, I was talking about this the other night. The fact that Joel Embiid has went through the process and lost as much as he did, I think his mind is trained to lose. It might sound crazy, but that's all you did for the bulk of your career, the start of your career. All you did was lose. You didn't know how to win. You don't know how to win. You don't know what it takes to win. So that's why you got to change your outlook on things and get around people that can win, that has won. You know what I mean? And absorb that. Now you was around the Olympic team this summer, and from what I hear, they complained or talk crazy about you because you wasn't taking it. You wasn't your eating habits was messed up, and it was crazy. That was your opportunity to be around championship winners and pick their brain and absorb all of what you could absorb from them to see how they got to the level they got to. That was the mindset of that. Mental mindset is so important. It is. The game is so grueling. You gotta have a right mindset to be able to play at that high level consistently. And because his mindset was trained to lose, I think it hurts his mental to want to win. Like I said, people might say that sounds crazy. You're in the league, you're in the NBA, you should just want to win. Facts. Facts. But you got to realize, like, if you are not focused on the outcome, you only focused on the journey. It's kind of easy to fall into that trap because your mindset is not. Joel Embiid saying to himself, "I'm making millions, hundreds of millions." You know what I mean? Playing a game that I didn't play till really I was he was in high school. It really wasn't a game that I really was like totally in love with, but because of my size, I was, I was recruited, and then now I was developed into a dominant basketball player. But because he went through what he went through as far as the process, is he has to figure out ways now to change his mindset. And it might be a little bit too late. That's why I say, Jazzo, I'm not giving up on him just yet, because I believe that he can do it. He has the ability to do it. I think if he goes out in this off season, get with some of the greats. I would get with guys like Elijah Wan. I would get with Pat Ewins, David Robinsons, Tim Duncans. I would work with them all summer long. And I would even try to go back to having my workouts with Jason Tatum. Like I would try to do whatever it is I can do to absorb as much knowledge off guys like that to be to put myself in a position to win. That's what I would do. The extension was the nail in the coffin to me. What's his incentive to get healthy? Checks still. You're right, and that's a part of the Sixers management and organization that they didn't put in place a plan for him. Because, like I said, like I don't understand right now why you're not getting surgery now. I mean, don't get it wrong. It's beautiful seeing you on the bench with your team, but you're not coaching nobody up. You're not telling nobody to be in better positions. You're not telling your centers how to how you would what you would do in those situations. Most of the time, you see Joel on the bench. He's at the end of the bench by himself, or not by himself, but he's not talking to nobody. When you see him in timeouts, he gets up and he walks, and he's in the back of the timeout. He's not in the timeout with the pad like, yo, Yabusele, do this or them do that. He's not doing none of that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't really need to be there at this point. Go get your need fixed. Get your mind right. If I'm the Sixers, I'm telling him, I would have told him at that contract signing, I would have put in that contract, you need to be healthy and you need to eat right. And I need you working out with the greats. I need you picking the greats' mind to get your mind right. I need you figuring out a way to get out of that loser mentality and convert it to a winning mentality. You need to develop some type of hunger. That's what I would have put in contract. So you're right. They didn't have any incentive or any plan for him to get healthy. But that again, that's something that the Sixers got to fix going forward. But anyway, Jazzo, I appreciate you showing up and being a part of the show tonight. I was going to stay on here a little bit longer. I got to jump off of here because I gotta go pick up my daughter from work. But I appreciate you, Jazzo, being a part of this. This is something like I've been doing for the last couple of days. Like I just been coming on live and just talking, and so like I'm gonna continue to do that. Um, Yep, I'm gonna keep doing. Yeah, I'm gonna call you this weekend, Jazz. I ain't got nothing going on. I'm off a call Friday morning, so I'll call you this weekend, see what you're doing, see what's up with you. And now that you back east, we definitely gotta link up and go hang out somewhere. So yeah, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you this weekend. All right. But everybody else who came through, Jason, I appreciate you showing up. Tish, my cousin Tish, I'll be calling you soon. Appreciate you being on here. Everybody else that watched from the FYP page, appreciate you for watching and listening to what I had to say for a little while that you was on. Appreciate all y'all. Love y'all. See y'all soon. And if you got a chance, if you ain't doing nothing when I come back from picking up my daughter, I'll probably jump over on the TikTok app and go live on that. If you got TikTok, download TikTok, Top Chef Sports Talk, and I'll be live on that probably around like 8:30, just talking trash, having a good time. I'm still talking sports, life, whatever you want to talk about. I'll be over on that app at about 8:30. So if you got a chance to stop over there, support your boy. It's your boy Jamar, Top Chef Sports Talk. Peace.